Tonight, we're going to take our deep dive into the cold waters of reality with a chaser of stupidity on the side, because we are talking about the Trump administration. With another
Mm.
2 minute challenge, we're going to go through a list of topics. Tall Guy and I each get 2 minutes to make our case, and we just keep rolling. If you're enjoying our podcast, please like, share, subscribe to our feeds. Additionally, we welcome all feedback. You got any feedback on what we should do more of, should do less of, start to do? Please just let us
We
know. As
are
always,
big on YouTube. We are big on TikTok.
talk.
Look for us. We're right there. A lot
Yeah.
of hot takes, a lot of funny takes. You might disagree. I saw someone leave a comment that said you were smoking something when you said Don Jr. was a better candidate. So if you haven't seen it, go to the comments on our TikTok. It's right there. I was gonna
Oh
send
yeah,
it to you,
yeah.
but I'm like, oh, he'll see it on his
And,
own.
and, and you know, I believe in podcasting. You need to be truthful. I will talk about what I was smoking when I made that comment.
So
I got no
what?
shame, no shame. All
Wait,
right.
really? Oh, okay. Never mind. Go
No,
ahead. I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna go after. Never mind. Keep going. Keep
no,
going. I
no,
don't
no,
want to
no.
break your stride.
We're gonna stay on track. And the first
Yeah.
thing we want to talk about is Iran, and
Yeah.
our 3 day war. As where I think we're in week 11 now.
Yeah.
Is week 11? Trump's on his way to China. Peace deals on quote life support. And then flipping on 60 Minutes, I saw Benjamin Netanyahu making some bold statements about who's in charge of U.S. military strategy and whether we're going to send our boys and girls to, risk their lives. What's going on?
I didn't think I could hate someone more until I
Now,
accidentally
now
watched that.
we have to give our. This is not a Jewish topic. This is no anti-Semitism. We just have
This
to say
is
that out loud.
strictly political
Strictly
and
political.
strategic and just bad. It's bad. And when I told you, roll the clip of our previous podcast when I clearly stated there's only one person I listen to when it comes to whether or not this war will keep going. And it's not Trump.
Benjamin
It's
Netanyahu.
exactly who did the interview on 60 Minutes. That's exactly who I listen to. If he says we're going, we're going. And I don't know if you watched all of it. It sounds like we're going. And
Well, I'm not. This is not an exact quote, but this is pretty damn close. Is Benjamin like, well, when will it be done? And Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Iran of Israel, states that the U.S. and Israel's military functions will be done when he, Benjamin Netanyahu,
yeah,
decides it's done.
I have seen him more than are like, why are you so present in our affairs? Why are
Yeah.
you so involved? I've never seen. Imagine the president of China just being here every
Yeah.
day, and then doing interviews, and then going to Congress giving speech. He might as well be the president. I'm gonna tell you right now. Look, I've for the last, I want to say, 6 months, I just haven't looked at Trump as the president. I've looked at him as just kind of a like just a figurehead clown.
He's cosplaying. He is truly
Exactly. Yeah,
cosplaying.
and he's really he.
Yeah.
It's like every time he gets out there, he tries to convince himself like you're still in charge. You're still no, you're not. You lost. You're not in charge. You're not in charge. You can there. I don't know if you've seen the Batman movie. I'm just gonna give this reference and I'm done. I don't know if you've seen the Batman movie where Bane is on the plane, and then this senator's like, "You're a criminal. I am in charge here." And Bane puts his hand on his shoulder and said, "Do you feel like you're in charge right now?" And
Yeah.
that's one thing. I know you
Oh
don't
yeah.
feel like you're in
That's a good
charge.
point.
Even when you let BB into the what's situation? Not this. Is it the situation room? Yeah.
Situation room. Yeah.
Yes. That's all I need to know. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's ever happened before. I promise you were not the one making that decision. It wasn't
Mhm.
you. That's why he needed to come in. So that's kind of where we're at.
And I agree with everything you said there. And going from Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel. I mean, and I believe in a two-state solution. I believe we can coexist. How we're going to get there, I'm not entirely sure, but
Yeah.
we can coexist. And uh, Benjamin Netanyahu at this point is like, oh, let me back up before I go to my analogy with Benjamin Netanyahu, is for Israel, the public, and I think they're beginning to realize the public relation, the brand identity of Israel is so different now than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And October the 7th was tragic. It was terrible. And that could have been the opportunity for a groundswell of support for a final, a two-state solution. Could be careful
Yeah.
when I say that, a two-state solution for the Palestinians and the Israelis. But the actions of Benjamin Netanyahu is the image in America. The image of Israel now is at an all-time low. I mean, that's just not me saying it. There's data showing it. I saw an article
Yeah.
that Israel was going to be spending more than $150 million in public relations outside of Israel
Yeah.
because the brand
Yeah.
has taken its hit. But Benjamin Netanyahu, he's like the house guest who stayed 15 years too long. He's
Thank
been saying
you.
the same damn thing Israel, Iran, 2 weeks away, 2 weeks away. He's like Trump in 2 weeks. And here we are. And we're spending our money and putting
Yeah.
our military at risk. And, Trump hasn't asked the American people. Trump hasn't asked Congress, but
Yeah.
Benji's leading the way. Which,
Exactly. And whatever he says goes. And honestly, I when it comes to PR, whatever they're spending clearly wasn't enough because they still needed it. It's not working. I don't think and I say this in the best. I am surrounded by it. We've had conversations off camera. I try to be as middle of the road as possible because I've accepted I don't know too much. I know I don't want to be involved. I know that much. I know we need to get the hell out of there. But that's kind of where my whatever went to, at least until recently. But I'm surrounded by it. I can't find one person 35 or younger that has a favorable opinion. And I'm trying to be as politically correct as possible.
No, and I get it. And for the 50, I'll go for the 55 and older crowd.
Yeah.
Is in America for going back, and we're long over our 2 minutes, but I want to let this roll for just a second.
Yeah.
Is in America, we think about the Alamo. We love our underdogs. We love our comeback story. And for my generation, that was Israel. The 6 Day War, they took on Egypt, they took on Syria, they took on the Iraqis. I mean, it was them versus everyone.
Yeah.
The little guy, and we respected that and thought, these are, these are folks, it's a democracy. We want to support these guys. And so for my generation, support for Israel was overwhelming. It was there. And in the last 2 years, my cohort, boy, it's gone. And it's all people are saying the same things. Oh, no, it's not about, I was for Israel until the last 2 years of, Netanyahu.
I think two things affected that change. First one, social media.
Oh yeah,
it's hard to debate. Look, you take out social media and your entire source of information is just what you see on TV. It's pretty easy to curate something in your favor. So that's obviously one thing. Second off, I think the younger generation is coming up in such a horrible. We're getting such a horrible deal. I think people in your generation got a fair deal. It's like, okay, we'll lie to you, we'll feed you bullshit, but you're comfortable. You have there's a legitimate chance of you owning a home, raising a family, and you'll be fine. And the thing is, when people are comfortable, the other stuff can, it's whatever. But you have this young generation where you're telling them healthcare, no. Home, no. Car, no. Kids, no. But hey, we're going to send all this money over there. And absolutely not.
AI is going to cost you your
job. Your job.
Two little digressions here real quick, and then I think I'll skip our second Iran topic for next week.
Yeah.
But two quick digressions. I really needed yesterday, or I guess I don't know if I saw them yesterday or on Sunday, is the host of the roast of Kevin Hart.
Oh,
and Chelsea.
You watched it?
I've watched the clips. And have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched all of it.
What do you think?
I think he deserved it. He's
What's his name? Hitchcock? Hickseth?
yeah, yeah. What who roasted Kevin Hart?
No, well, no, the one who like Chelsea.
Oh, Shane Gillis.
No, not Shane Gill. Well, Shane Gillis went. I mean, no, the guy with the he was the one at the Republican pre-election party.
Oh no,
He
I
said that,
forget his name, but I know
yeah,
who you're
he was.
talking about.
That's who she was. I thought that's who she was talking to because, when she's, because she said specifically about him and warming up Trump's balls in his mouth since they're all here and
Oh, okay,
whatnot.
okay.
Yeah, it was. I can't think of his name.
I forget his name. I think
But it
Chelsea
was.
got her feelings hurt after Shane Gillis cooked her.
Oh yeah, no, I see. I didn't see that. I just saw her roasting and saying, that all you who comedians who support Trump,
Yeah,
you ready to go to the Middle East, or the only time you're
yeah.
not big enough pussy is just to go to a comedy show.
And then Shane Gillis came out there and said, I'm go watch it.
I'll watch it.
Go,
I was, yeah,
I'm going to leave
everyone know.
this joke. But anyway,
We'll
she
keep
took
it
that to
silly.
heart.
We'll keep it
Yeah,
semi family. So,
yeah,
given your background in medical research, what's going
yeah.
on with the hantavirus?
Okay, I'm gonna throw all that medical research to the side and put
All
on
right,
my conspiracy hat because that has
that's why
served
we
me
love you.
better than
That's why we
the
love you.
latter. Um, so the initial video that I saw of the guy on the ship crying and his voice shaking,
Mhm.
I'm a skeptic. I'm very skeptical of everything. I'm like, this seems a little scripted. You're reading a script. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. I guess normal people write scripts and read it. Fine. And then all of a sudden, he's some, influencer that was also present during COVID and did similar things. So I'm like, so you just randomly happened to be on the ship with this virus, and then you're the one that's like,
So
putting the information out.
this dude was on the ship?
Yeah, he's like, you haven't seen the video?
No, I have
Oh my
not.
God, I should have sent it. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
I've not
Anyway,
seen that.
he's on the ship. He's an influencer, and he's like fake, not fake, fake to me, crying.
Yeah, yeah.
And his voice is, he's like, we are not just a story. We're real people. I'm like, okay. And then you find out they're letting the people off the ship.
That's fucking insane.
What?
And I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV either. But the virus takes 6 weeks, up to 6 week germination period. And what James is alluding to is these people have been screened in Nebraska and Atlanta, and if they're not
Yeah.
testing positive, they're saying, "I just go home and we're encouraging you." It was the phrase, encouraging you to self isolate at home.
Yeah.
And now we have stories of someone who was sitting next to someone on a plane. So not close
Yeah.
contact, just sitting next to each other, now testing positive. The one I was struck with is the guy who was negative when he got off the ship on Sunday,
Yeah.
developed symptoms on his flight to Paris, tested positive, and as of a few hours ago, I saw in the news he's now on a ventilator. So he's
Yeah. Okay.
rapidly deteriorating. And but yeah, these people and other people. And the other thing I thought was interesting, they're talking about the mutation of, it's going person to, it's never
Yeah.
gone person to person before. It's now going person to person. That was mutant two. Mutant three is it's not close contact.
So
It's person to person, not
my
close
my
contact.
question is, what are your thoughts on gain of function technology? So the virus initially was not able to go person to person, but I mean, it's in the open now, so we can talk about it, people.
Mhm.
Gain of function technology that we were researching. Do you think we're there? What do you like? Do you think this was just a random mutation, or or do you think it was actually, did we intervene in this mutation? Did we use our gain of function
Well,
technology?
I am, and in our last podcast, we are talking about how, we used to could believe 80% of what politicians say, but now we're,
Yep.
single
Yep.
digits. So I'm going to be 90%, I think, because I have a healthy fear and respect of viruses. The world dealt with COVID. I was in the Middle East
Yeah.
during SARS, which is no, sorry, excuse me, MERS-CoV, which is the Middle Eastern Respiratory Distress Syndrome.
Mm,
Very high mortality rate. I had some of my staff actually contacted from patients and die. So
mm.
I am always amazed at what viruses in nature can do. So I'm 95% sure a, this is normal. But boy, if I was a 5% conspiracy theorist and one believed that China, a biolab in Wuhan,
Yeah.
engineered this and or engineered COVID, and now leading up to when Trump is going to go bend his knee and
Yep.
kiss the ring to Xi in China,
Wow.
then boom, another virus has popped up. That
Here
is
you're connecting some dots I didn't
very
even know existed.
convenient.
I didn't even the fact that he's going over there didn't even I'm just saying but please go I will send you the video.
Give me the video, yeah, please.
An influencer, it's just the whole thing just seems odd. But
Yeah.
again, for everyone involved, prayers, we hope you get better. But I personally would not have let you off the ship.
Well, yeah,
I just want to.
yeah, and I want to be clear that our government's incompetence, because my point on
Yeah.
this is we were, other than Operation Warp Speed, the Trump administration, and I have to give total props to Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah.
The COVID vaccine saved lives. I believe in the
Yeah.
COVID vaccine. I get it every 6 months. I encourage
Yeah.
everyone to get it every 6 months. But the Trump administration grossly managed the COVID response. Seeing Bobby Kennedy Jr. saying, "Oh, we're under control. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
Sweet baby Jesus, I've heard that message before, and it didn't end well. And
Yeah.
one of the unique and sad characteristics of Trump that we suffer from is his internal belief that if he ignores something, it'll just fix itself.
Yeah.
And back in the COVID days, oh, when it warms up, COVID's going to go away. By Easter, everything is going to be done. It's just, ignore it, it'll go away. But, and if we don't test, the numbers won't go up.
Yeah.
That's just now. And so when Bobby Kennedy says, oh, we've got it covered, don't worry about it, I'm fucking worried. And
Yeah.
then the same characteristic, and going back to our first topic with Iran, is Trump is, we're in week 11, Trump is bored, and he says, you know what? I'm going to ignore this, and it's just going to go away. It ain't going to go away.
Yeah.
And we're well on the path to a strategic defeat. And the longer Trump lives in denial and cosplays as the president of the United States, that defeat's going to get more significant. We could have got a better deal and a better outcome. First of all, by not tearing up the Obama deal,
Yeah.
not invading them, and this whole just gaslighting coming out of, oh, we have a regime change, they're going to fall, it's a new day,
Yeah.
the Iranian people want to elect me as their next Ayatollah.
What?
But you didn't see that yet. He mentioned that. Yeah,
No,
they
I
love
just
it.
remembered it. I just remembered it.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff he says, I have to remember he actually said it.
But we're going to come back to that point later on. So cherish that thought, tall guy. Cherish that thought. So, the last question about Hunter. I mean, how genuine? How high is your concern? What do we need to do? I mean, I'm not
As
saying
far as
mask up.
concern, it kind of stopped with the fact that they let them off the ship. That was
Yeah.
my only concern. But I'm just gonna say it flat out. Nobody is going inside. Like, if you think there's going to be another quarantine, you're out of your mind.
No,
I know
no.
they're saying a 40% mortality rate, 38. Okay, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The last quarantine we had did damage beyond what we even comprehend right now. There are kids that just
Are screwed in the head.
don't nothing.
Screwed in the head because of isolation, the social isolation, all of it. But see, that's what scares me is, yeah, they made some terrible mistakes, but the mistakes were being conservative with COVID because we didn't know what we were facing
yeah,
with COVID, and so a lot of mistakes were made. The mistakes that in good faith and helping people, I have a little bit of sympathy to, and I can forgive those. The lockdown and whatnot, it's the taking the ivermectin and all this other stuff. I
yeah,
have less, injecting bleach. I don't have any any patience for that. So I think you're absolutely right that if this becomes a pandemic and starts to spread, is there's no way there's going to be a lockdown. There will be no issues of masks. There will be no issues of social distancing, and so this has a much higher mortality rate than
Yeah.
COVID did.
Yeah. If whatever it is, you're just going to have to let people,
He's gonna
unfortunately,
and
find out for themselves. Like telling
and
people, hey, go inside is just not going to cut it anymore.
yeah, and but I'm not an advocate of the public health policy of culling the herd, but I think that's what
Yeah.
the Trump administration is going to deliver. I mean, the potential for catastrophic loss of life, even
Yeah.
if I mean, because I mean, just do the math. If I mean, millions of people had COVID and 1 million people died. I mean, maybe I
Mm.
mean, in the United States, what 100 million people had it, and 1 million in not 1 million people died. Or I don't know how many people died. Forgive me. But if you have a 40% mortality, only 100,000 people get it. That's 40,000 deaths.
Mm.
And I apologize. I can't remember the COVID deaths. I mean, it's all
No, it's. I
mixed
mean,
up.
it's again. I don't think. I think people are. They're kind of numb to hearing concern from other people. It's
Mhm.
gonna have to be like, oh, someone I know had it, so based on that, I don't think I'm gonna go out. And then, oh, I don't know anyone that's had it. I think I'm fine. I'm gonna go out. That's
Would-
all it's gonna be. But they can't even enforce a curfew on these kids in DC.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, good
would
luck
you
with that.
would you fly internationally right
Um,
now?
oh, right now,
Yeah, today internationally. Would you fly
there's
internationally?
only one country I want to visit right now. Don't ask why, but it's Poland. If I got my tickets right now, I'm going.
Hmm. I'd do
Yeah,
that. I,
no,
there's certain parts of the world I wouldn't travel. I think it has more to do with the war. And I've been in the Middle East
yeah.
during the wars and the Houthis, so
Oh
I
yeah,
don't want to do that again.
I wouldn't go there, but definitely Poland based on the story you told, and couple others. It wasn't just you. It wasn't just you. Every time I think, because I kind of gave up on Europe. I think France is overrated. I think Italian food in my opinion, doesn't taste good. I
Mhm.
think we do Italian food better here, but hey,
Hmm.
whatever. Um, Germany, no, but Poland, my experience, my Uber driver was Polish.
Mhm.
Loved her.
Mhm.
I know a couple other people. One person from Bosnia, and she swears up and down about Poland. She's like, James, you have to go
Poland's
to Poland.
rock
They
and roll.
treat they treat you like what. I'm like, oh, okay, let's go to Poland. And then your story kind of cemented it. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'm going there.
Poland's definitely worth the trip. And
Yeah.
I would still travel internationally. I think I worry more about the war than this, but I think the next um 3 weeks are going to be fascinating with the Hunta or Junta. I
I
mean,
think
Hunta
it's
or Junta.
hantavirus. I think the rollout for the virus fell on its face. I don't think this goes anywhere. That's
Eh,
my opinion. That's
hopefully
my
you're right.
prediction.
Hopefully you're right. Hopefully you're right.
Yeah.
So there's a new craze coming to America. It's not a dance. It's not a food. It's not a TikTok meme. It's gerrymandering.
Oh wow.
So,
Mm.
and some states are, up to this point have taken very different. California and Virginia asked the people to vote, and here in Virginia, we actually modified our constitution. Supreme Court said we can't modify our constitution. I thought that was an
Mm.
interesting argument. Um, Texas, Florida, a lot of in the Supreme Court then rules that you can gerrymander for race. So a lot of traditionally African American districts and going away. What are your thoughts?
On the Virginia thing, that's again people in my age group. It's there's this growing sentiment that voting doesn't really matter
Hmm.
because you'd be hard pressed to convince somebody with that opinion that it matters because the solution it's always vote harder. It's like
Because
they already voted. They already
and
voted.
yeah, they voted and I totally get what you're saying, but about people giving up because your vote doesn't matter. That means Trump's winning because that's exactly why he's doing all these voter
Okay, I'm
suppression
gonna
things.
push back on that
No, push. I got
because it's like he he's win. Even with you voting, he still won. So it's like, God,
Oh yeah,
I'm
but no,
not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm
you
not.
know, and he still won, and by the gerryman, and then he still won. And I mean, I'm not one of these. I mean, you know, all over X and Twitter was this, you know, the extreme left saying the election was stolen in 2024. No, I don't think it was. I think Trump won, but
Yeah.
you know, there was some voter suppression stuff going on. I mean, I still remember, I think it was in Georgia and Michigan, all the bomb threats and black
Yeah.
polling areas, so they had to
Yeah.
stop voting and close it because of the bomb threats. And so yeah, so no, I mean, and hopefully I'm not trying to thread a needle here. Is that yeah, it's not an issue of voting harder. Is we want people to vote, but if you feel like I'm going to vote and the other side is just going to make it impossible for my candidate to win, why waste the time? Why leave work? I mean, why in this country voting is not a national holiday where it is in the majority of democratic countries?
Yeah.
It's a holiday, you know, in many countries. In my travels, some of the interesting things in Antigua. First time I went to Antigua was actually election day. Boy, this is like 2001 or two or something. And I go to Antigua and it's an election day, and arrived on a Sunday. And so the election was on a Sunday because so people didn't have to work. Everyone could vote because the election was on a Sunday. And in the hotel, big sign in the bar, go to my room, little sign on the midi bar. No alcohol can be served during the hours the polls are open. So
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only time I always love election days. Landing in Antigua and not being able to drink after a really long day for traveling was a little traumatic. In
Yeah.
Venezuela, and in other countries I know, but I'll use Venezuela as an example. Forever, it has been obligatory to vote, and that if you don't vote, you're no longer eligible for certain government services.
Okay.
And I mean, that's from voter suppression's one extreme to making it mandatory to vote. On the other, and I'm not advocating making it mandatory, but I do think Trump by sending the message, you know, particularly after the Supreme Court case where we're getting rid of the Louisiana, where the Supreme Court approved Alabama getting rid of one of the two seats. I think they approved that today. And you know, if you know whoever my demo is if you know if I hear we're being excluded, why am I even going to make the effort? You know why?
So my thing is specifically Virginia.
Mhm.
So let's say there's a 27-year-old that voted,
Mhm.
and obviously majority agreed with that 27-year-old, and then it gets shut down. What are you telling that 27-year-old next time? Like whenever there's another one of those situations, what are you telling the 27-year-old to do differently? Because they're gonna have to do something differently, because doing the same thing and expecting different results, we know what that is. So what are you telling them to do differently next
Mm.
time?
First of all, don't give up. And I'm not going to say vote harder. You got to keep voting, but voting is not the destination. The voting is the first step. Is you got to call your congressman, you got to write letters, you got to go to meetings, you got to go to protests, you got to be engaged. And you know, if life was cooking, like if it was 1994 all over again, we have this great peace, the Cold War is over, we have this massive peace dividend, we've balanced our budget, you didn't have to think about politics. You
Yeah.
know, you didn't have to think about it. You didn't have to go out and protest. We weren't doing, if we had the equivalent of podcast back in the day, you and I wouldn't be doing this if this was 1984, even if we had the
Yeah.
tech. These are different times, and you can't surrender. Voting is not mandatory, obligatory, but to me, it's mandatory. If you got it, even if you know you're going to lose, you got to vote, but you got to do the other stuff as well. We got to do all the above, full stop.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck with that argument. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna funnel a bunch of millennials like to your studio, and I want to watch you say it to them. I want to see it.
But oh no, but I want to hear this. Now play it back. So let's role play it back. So I'm a 22-year-old. I voted for the first time,
Yeah.
and my candidate didn't win.
No,
The
no,
team.
no, 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 no. That's not the scenario. The
Tell me my
scenario
scenario.
is you voted and it went your way. It went your way. But
Oh, and
there's
that, oh,
another thing that
oh, no,
says,
no, no,
eh,
no, 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 no. Okay, so in that scenario, my response is different. If they said I voted and I got my way, but how do we fix this with Trump? Is well, thank you for voting. You got to do it again, and we still got to do all the above. No, is that too simple? Is that too pie in the sky? I'm
way
even
too
idealist.
simple. I just
Idealist.
don't know.
Well, then
I'm
then help. Then
no,
hey, look, we're workshopping here, baby. We're workshopping. What do
yeah.
we want to say?
I'm not claiming to have the answer. I look. I'm here to bring the problem. That's
Yeah.
all I
Oh.
want. My job is to lay out the
If
problem to
well,
where it's open. It's like
and
I don't want people saying, "Oh, that's not the no." This is the problem. Whether or not you have the solution, that's up to you.
okay, and I'm 100% with you because you got to expose. You got to say I'm an alcoholic before you can get gay.
Yeah,
So exposing the
yeah.
problem is great and perfect. But if anyone's looking for me to be the solution, Bios con Dios, baby.
Yeah,
Bios con
I don't have
Dios.
it either. I'm just saying again, I'm around it, and it's weird because like I think I have kind of an old soul, and you think I know on some level you think I'm kind of on the extreme side. You
No,
haven't met some of these other people. You
I'm
haven't.
I'm related to some of those other people.
Yeah,
So
thank you. I
I
think he's me times two. I think you've had conversations where I don't think
yeah.
you even get a word in.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think
Hell
he
yeah.
lets you get a word in because it's
Yeah.
like this is the problem. This is the problem, and then you tell him, hey, just hang in there and keep voting. Yeah, good luck. Good
Oh
luck
yeah.
convincing that to get off their couch when
First
you really need them to vote.
two-word response. First letter was F of the first word. First letter of the second word was O. I've heard that answer. Hey, I want to go into a softer, funner subject next, but just wrapping up on this and the segue kind of to sports here a little bit is Ryan Clark put out
Yeah,
a tweet about the Tennessee gerrymandering, basically saying,
yeah,
no Super Bowl, no NFL
yeah.
franchises in the South if you're gonna, take away all the minority seats. What do you think about Ryan's?
I have a huge issue with putting that burden on private citizens.
Yeah,
I understand. I understand protesting. I understand sending a message, but I wish we had this energy for like. And I understand Tennessee. It's kind of it's an away game. Like I get it.
yeah.
It's yeah,
You've seen the
but
movie. You've seen the movie Deliverance.
I think so.
Okay, well, if you haven't, that's going to be your homework assignment this next week. Is go on YouTube and watch Deliverance. That'll tell you everything you
Okay,
need to know about the American
who's in it?
South.
Who's in it?
Jesus, that's not Burt Reynolds. Fact Warren,
You might have some homework too. Like we have
I
to
might,
watch
yeah,
it.
I might. But while I'm Googling this, tell me about Mr. What do you think about Mr. Clark?
Yeah,
Continue.
I don't like the he was so matter of fact. Like these black athletes need to do this and that. It's like I wish we saved that energy for the elected officials. And I say this because there's an elected official. Um, oh, what's his name? Pearson,
Oh, Pearson,
Justin
yeah.
Pearson of Tennessee. He is a lawmaker. There's a video out there of him on the church pulpit, and he is just dancing. He's doing the in my opinion, caricature of a black preacher
Yeah.
where they're just up there doing this thing. I'm like, who does this serve? This doesn't do anything. You want your clip, you want your viral moment.
Yeah.
I don't think you actually care about serving the cause. You what? And then he has this when he's having the interaction with the security guard in their Congress. It got heated, and he goes up to the security guard, and he has his hand on his chin.
And
You want your
the
Malcolm
guards
X
foot.
moment.
Yeah.
I just think it's weird. I think we should be more
There's
focused on getting things like done as opposed to looking like we are. And that's where I'm at. That's my opinion. I'm
yeah
sorry.
the no and I'm with you. I mean I agree with all that. I mean the one thing about Ryan Clark and in fairness to him, he's come out and said I didn't exactly say those things, but it's
Yeah,
out there and
yeah,
whatnot. So I got to give him. But I'm going to take a different. I'm not African American. I mean, I just I things I don't know, but I do know my demo, and I know my demo of angry old white men that we don't typically do things based on morality or ethics. It's about self-interest. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean,
yeah,
we said we are going to be honest here. It's about self-interest and fundamental greed.
yeah,
And um, and I'm anti-cancel culture. So as I explain why this resonated with me a little bit, I'm anti-cancel culture. But the NFL has never done anything that we look at as good for moral reasons. I mean, I think the Rooney Rule is was very fundamentally important and still necessary today. And it's not perfect, but I think it's a break to at least
yeah,
force someone to make that decision. Either to ignore it or honor, but it forces them to do something.
yeah,
But the NFL didn't do that because of they thought it was the right thing to do. They had to do it because it was economics. When the majority of their means of production are people of color,
yeah,
and the profits are immense, is the power of professional athletes is significant, but so is the risk.
yeah,
I know this guy named I don't know, but Colin Kaepernick,
yeah,
did the right thing. I always talk about people having big balls. He had the biggest balls,
yeah.
and where's he at now? He did the right thing, but
Uh,
where's he at?
social media.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but let's on our segue here as we wrap up our first half of the pod. There was an NBA lottery.
yeah,
Uh, I thought for sure the Warriors, even though they had the smallest percentage chance, was going to
yeah,
get it because that's what the Warriors
yeah.
do. But I think
They always do.
they got 11th. Uh, uh, Wizards were tied for the highest chance. What 14.1? I can't remember. Was it 14 or something percent of getting
It
the
was
first pick?
whatever it was. I had no faith.
Zero. I had zero. I thought for sure. I mean, I thought
Yeah,
because they were going to go down. That's just the way it happens. But they got the first pick, and then I see on social media, and I am traveling this weekend, so I'm a little bit out of the loop. See on social media that Utah wants to flip the first, and Utah got the second pick. They want to flip
yeah.
for then the 27 first round and the 28 first round. Two-part question: would you keep the first round, and then who would you pick, or would you deal and go second, and then who would you pick?
Yeah, we're keeping that pick. We're keeping the
Yeah.
first pick. Any other draft, that's slightly weaker, we probably trade it. But there's a clear number one in
Mm,
this draft. AJ DeBosta, he plays for BYU. He is a
yeah.
6'9" athletic monster.
Hmm.
And the fact that that is what we have on the table, we compare that with Trey Young, we just got from Atlanta, who's a star when healthy. He's kind of small, but he's still a star. We have Anthony Davis when healthy as a star. We can build something. The Eastern Conference is really weak. I don't know if you've heard about the Detroit Pistons and their season this year.
Hmm.
All it took was one off season, and they turned things around. It is very possible with the right pieces and the right coach.
Well,
We could possibly,
this has been a 3 years of tanking. We've just finished 3 years of tanking.
and I don't know. It looks like it's worth it because
Yeah,
if
well,
this actually pans out, AJ could be the next Jane Daniels. We
mm,
DC look DC. If there's one thing we do, we take care of our own. You just have to just go out there and ball out. If you're a
absolutely.
star in this city, we will take care of you. Ask Jane Daniels, ask RG3, ask John Wall, ask Bradley Beal. If you are good, everyone here,
Yeah.
whatever you need, we'll do it. But you just can't be a bust. So that's this is it looks the future looks bright. I think so.
well,
We got the Wizards gear too. Yeah, absolutely. Let's
no, no,
let's absolutely go.
I'm with
Yeah,
you. But now Stephen A. Smith's been trashing the Wizards.
yeah.
What do you think about that? Anything? Because I've been
First off,
excited. I'm like, we got the first
that
pick.
man
This is
hasn't
it.
watched. That man, you've watched more NBA games than Stephen A. Smith. Believe it or
Not as
not.
much. Well,
Exactly. So he doesn't actually watch games. At this point in his life, he's an entertainer more than a sports commentator. So he gets in the studio. They feed him things and he just says it. He doesn't
Okay.
actually watch games. So people that watch the Wizards, we've been seeing it brewing. We're not there, but we know a piece like AJ out of BYU, you plug him in, get Anthony Davis back healthy, get Trae Young
Mm.
back healthy. Oh my God, the fact that the Pistons are the best team in the East right now, we can compete.
Yeah,
we can
good.
compete.
Good. So I'm feeling better about my optimism. I'm not going to let Stephen A.
No.
Shoot me down.
We might look. I don't know how the Commanders are. That last Commander season, I didn't feel too good. It kind of dipped the whole optimism.
Yeah.
But I think the Wizards will have that Jaden Daniels rookie season optimism. It's going to be buzzing.
We're going to have a lot more to talk about football. This is going to be a fun football season. A lot of football. All right, so that's about halfway through our show. I just want to remind everyone, this is the TGOG podcast. If you're enjoying our podcast, please like, share, subscribe to our feeds. And of course, also please follow us on social media. We're all over the place. We're on Substack. We're on YouTube. We're on Blue Sky. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of almost, I feel like it's reality TV. And that's Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire, laid off 50% of their staff. What's going on? Is this fixable?
This goes back to it's going back to the what we talked about, how the narrative surrounding America's relationship with the Middle East, we'll just say that, is changing. And I think Ben Shapiro was Charlie Kirk before Charlie Kirk. He had, because Republicans were known for having the older audience. Ben Shapiro came in there and he was able to get the younger debate team type thing going. He had college kids he made it like feasible for younger, demographics to say, maybe Republicans not. Charlie Kirk took it to a whole different level. But Ben Shapiro was that. And then all of a sudden the narrative around the Middle East starts changing, and it's like, maybe they don't want to listen to Ben Shapiro anymore. Maybe your YouTube channel doesn't get as many views, and then what you did to Candace Owens, the way you ousted her for what she said, which wasn't really much. Now she goes to YouTube, starts her own thing. She's a bigger podcaster than Joe Rogan, in my opinion. I don't care what anyone says. She's huge.
She's smoking.
She's smoking hot right now in more ways than one. But she is just, she's going. And then people are looking at you like, wait, you had that on your team and you kicked her away because what? Oh, I'm just going to go over there. You're not saying anything. Everything you're saying are things we've heard for years. We're onto they're just going to go to a different person. And all of a sudden you have to lay off 70% of your staff because you don't need it, because no one is checking for you. And that's what happened. Candace, I think we can agree Candace won that beef. I don't think she's lost any beef so far.
No, she has all the sales. I mean, she's got the wind at her back, wind at her sails. But I'm going to put on my conspiracy theory hat.
Let's do it.
I forgot to put it on earlier. I got to put on my
conspiracy
theory hat.
Yeah.
I liked your analysis or your analogy that Ben Shapiro, he had this young kid. He was Jewish.
Yep.
Jewish. Not an issue for me, but
yeah,
in the realm of the Republican Party, it does matter. So you got this Jewish kid, incredibly bright, articulate, could do the whole debate thing. He's engaging the college kids, and that really got, because when I was a kid in college campus, you don't want to admit it to being a Republican.
No.
Being a pedophile or being a Republican on college
exactly. I'm glad you said it.
In the early 80s, uncool. And Shapiro, to his credit, showed that, hey, young smart kids, if you're gonna be a young Republican, you can, go something. You can have a name for yourself. It's kind of cool. And then Charlie Kirk comes, and Shapiro has obviously peaked. Do you give me hands?
No, I said Charlie Kirk took that to a whole different level.
Oh yeah, and Charlie Kirk's not Jewish.
Here. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Charlie Kirk's not Jewish, and Again, not important to me, but important within the MAGA. So you got this young guy who maybe peaked in Shapiro.
Hmm.
You get Charlie Kirk, who doesn't have this by the MAGA crowd this unpleasant attachment of being Jewish, and he's your guy. And for the
Yeah.
incels, an interesting thing, and this isn't actually my analysis, and someone said this to me. I thought they were joking until they talked a little bit more about it, and from their own personal life and view, and their group of cohorts is what this person shared that Charlie gave us being young, coming out of COVID and being young, and what's my career and the social isolationism. We have this community, and Charlie comes to the college campuses. Charlie was also an unattractive nerd, and he had comparatively, he was punching above above
Yeah.
his weight with Erica. So he's not Jewish. He's smart. He debates. He's on the college campuses, and he maybe looks like a lot of the MAGA
Yeah.
incels. And then
Yeah.
he's, from their perspective, has got this. I don't think so, but they thought a smoking hot wife in
Yeah.
Erica, and he's our guy. Now he's dead. So
Yeah.
who's going to come next? Now the logical person in this, who is bright, articulate, can debate, and go on college campuses, that's Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Candace Owens and a white guy.
Yeah.
And I'm saying
Yeah.
this is white guy. And I like Candace Owens. I'm saying within the MAGA. So who's going to be? And Erica Kirk's not going to be the replacement.
Yeah. Definitely
She
not.
could be the head of TPUSA and be a trad wife.
Yeah.
Candace should be the next one. And again, I have
Yeah.
respect for Candace. I like Candace. I mean, I'm a pro
Yeah.
Candace dude. I think she's crazy and disagree, but
Yeah.
she's not. She's got mojo. She's worth a listen. They're not going to let her be the next.
I
So
think I honestly
for the youth movement, she should be the next for the youth movement. I mean, who's the next one who's going to lead the youth movement?
I don't think honestly I don't think I think we need to draw a distinction between the TPUSA crowd and the MAGA incel crowd.
That's
I
interesting.
think
I'm interested. Differentiate those.
they're vast because like on college campuses, these kids are looking. They're just looking for like a platform, like someone that's not gonna. I don't know. I think, and this is where I kind of give Charlie Kirk credit. He involved them. They felt like they were part of it. It wasn't like someone just coming in there and saying, "Do this, do this." Do. It was like, "Oh, I'm here. I'm on college camp." I think you would think that's something Democrats would have done way before he did. But
we should. We used to. We used to. Back in the day,
and then we turned it into, we're just gonna go to the professors and tell them what to say, and then it's like, I'm just gonna. No, you have to they have to be involved. You have to have a community of discussing ideas, and that's what he brought.
He has that, but the incels don't. The incels just have pain and misery. And
exactly. Hatred. So that's my point. So there's a huge difference. So the TPUSA crowd, I think they're kind of misguided. I don't look at them as incels. These are college kids. These are kids. A lot of I don't know if you see. Again, we're gonna go to one of these events, and I think that'll help.
Yeah, no, Hunter. We need to put this on the record. This year we are together going to go live and in person together.
Yes, even if it's not this year. We'll go to one of the TPUSA and preferably maybe while Erica Kirk is still there because I want to laugh.
But then we better do it this year. Seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
She'll be out after November.
She'll be out of there. She
may be up before November.
Yeah, she's not helping. But once you see the crowd, I don't know what an incel looks like. They're not incels. They're this male, female, everything. They're young, vibrant, and they're just like, if we put in the same effort as Charlie did, I feel like we could have. So they're not into. I don't look at them as intel, and I think because Candace, she toured with him multiple times. They love her. I think she would have been more accepted than Erica. But I think the actual replacement, maybe not officially, but in terms of who they turn to, because it's obviously not Ben. That was kind of the problem. They were turning away from Ben and going towards Charlie, where Charlie was changing his opinions on some things, Middle East. But I think it's Tucker. This is what I kept trying to tell you.
But you have me until I think about the age. It's
not about the age. It's not about the age. It's about the
Mm.
mind. You can be, and that's how I think Trump was able to do
Mm.
people in 2016. Even though he's obviously old, he is, but he came out there and he was like,
He's not old enough. He's not old enough.
well, I true, but in terms of his mannerism, he came off like he acted cool. He acted Obama. When you think of Obama, do you think, oh, no, it's old, but you still
Oh,
have the swagger that's relatable to kids of that. So I don't look at it. It's just age. Tucker is able to speak to
but
them the
but
same way Charlie did.
okay. The I mean, Obama's just cool. Always
Yeah,
has been.
but he's
Always
old.
will.
But he's old.
Okay, not that old. He's my demo. But anyhow,
Yeah,
the
I don't.
but no, no. But my demo. See, because that's when I say it's Tuck. Because Tuck, I think I'm a little bit. Obama's older than me, but I'm older than Tucker. I think I'm between the two of them.
Yeah,
Is I still think that young face, that young voice. I mean, that sounds like a bad
yeah.
pulp
I get
pulp
what you mean.
novel, but that's important. And so Obama was born cool, always was, always has been. Full stop. Trump was never cool, but Trump was rich, and Trump was a reality TV
I'm
star. We
gonna
saw
push back on that. I'm gonna push back on
that he
that.
was rich. He really was.
Unfortunately,
He
well,
really wasn't.
you know what? I'm glad you
Now he
said that.
is.
I
Now
think
he is. He
I
was
think I
perceived as
think
rich and
I think
successful.
him being rich was not true. I think him being perceived as cool before, you have to keep in mind, before he ran. I cannot stress
Yeah.
this enough. Before he ran, he
Well,
was
and
cool.
that may be
Rappers had him in their songs. Rappers do not have you in your song if you're lame. That's not how it
okay.
works.
Fair enough. And in full disclosure, again, we're on this whole transparency thing here. I never actually saw 1 minute of one Apprentice episode. Never
Same
saw
here.
one.
Same
Never saw
here.
1 minute. So I just have to assume it was on 11
I
seasons. He
just
was a
know you were
reality TV
fired.
show.
I know that was a thing. I don't know.
Yeah. The uh but Tucker's not cool. So Obama's cool. I think Trump was a rich star that people wanted to be like, and he made himself successful. He can make us successful. I mean, that's just all fantasy. But Tucker's not cool. Tucker's. I mean, I'm not cool, and Tucker's less cool
I
than
don't think
me.
it's fair to assume that the younger generation are just looking for cool.
Well, I mean, when I say
I
cool, but that identity voice. I mean, if let's be honest, if you were to sit in a room with Tucker Carlson, what before you go, what commonality, what's that middle ground you have? What's that hook, that link? What do you
I'll
got with
put it I'll
Tucker?
put it this way. I'll put it this way. So Obama, every time he's asked about what's going on in the Middle East, they
Mhm.
ask him, "Hey, would you consider it a genocide?" And he gets to doing that Obama, thing where he's like, da, da, da. He can't act. For someone who's a great speaker, all of a sudden you don't know what to say.
But
You fast, you go, yeah,
I've always
yeah,
wanted to play. I've always wanted to play. Again, I think he's really cool. I think he was compared to what we have now, an amazing president. I think he was a very good president. I'm going to grade him. I'm going to give him a much higher. I'm going to take him from an A minus to an A plus because he's of
yeah.
Trump. But I give him an A minus. Um, he has that tell. You're absolutely right. If he doesn't want to answer the question, he's going to start.
Dude, it's the most obvious thing ever.
Yeah,
Like,
as a first,
it's not even a tell anymore. It's like, dude. But and then back.
but
Let's go back
but
to,
I want to play. I want to play poker with that tell.
yeah.
He has
He won't even
eye.
be invited. He won't even be
Oh,
invited. Like
no, I'd
he's
invite
a,
him. He wouldn't accept. He would not. He
yeah,
would not.
true.
I would.
But back to your scenario, you're saying if Tucker was, so that room you're referring to, I'm putting Obama there, and remember, keep it in context. He was asked, and that was his response. Now you bring in Tucker, and he's asked the same question, and you know what his response is.
Oh
It's
yeah.
clear. It's nothing. Now the audience is the TPUSA crowd, the young crowd, the one that's looking for the cool candidate. Who do you think they're going with?
Mm.
No,
And
seriously.
yeah, it could be. I mean, Tucker, we I'm gonna have a little angina I've already had
Okay.
one heart attack. I may have some angina if we talk too much more. I got to take Tucker in doses because you know
Yeah.
him and I think I'm a couple years older than him. We're both from San Francisco. This because this is what I understand. This is someone who is my demo from my hometown. I mean,
Yeah.
we're the same tribe. I have nothing in common with Tucker Carlson. There's nothing. I would just as soon pass a kidney stone than sit
Yeah.
down and have a meal with that bag of shit.
I think that's clouding your judgment
It's
of
probably
what's not
significant.
of him.
Significantly,
I
probably
cannot
significant.
stress this enough. It's I'm not this is not a judgment of him, the
Yeah,
person. We know we don't care. That's
yeah.
not what it is. It's
I
the
just, I
what
just, I
you're
just can't get past that. I just can't. My
it's
loathing
what
of
you're
him.
putting forth. And this is what's kind of like scaring me about Democrats in 2028. Maybe not the midterms, but 2028. I just saw footage of Cory Booker on ABC, who was one of those Sunday shows, and he's still doing that thing. When it comes to this issue, you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
I cannot stress this enough. They're not playing any game. If you think for 1 second you're going to be able to guilt the young demographic, that whatever age you want to put it, and just tell them, well, Trump's bad. Do you want? People will stay their ass home.
Mm.
They don't care. They that is the issue at hand. If you're not going to join the train, you will get run over. If you're
yeah,
not going to say the right things, do not get in front of the camera. You're
yeah.
hurting us. So just stay home, keep your opinions to yourself. That's kind of where I'm at with this because our opponents they're already there. They're good. Like they're set. Meanwhile, we're over here. Obama is like, we need to talk about. No, the hell we don't. It's over. You either join or we're gonna get a Mamdani, and if we don't find one,
Oh, no, you know me. I'm a capitalist. I'm a, I think I'm maybe that unicorn where I'm a
yeah.
left wing capitalist. We're pretty rare. Um, and I don't. I just. I'd take a Mamdami over where we're at now because I'd take social. I'd take socialism.
Yeah.
Well, and the serious thing is I'm not a 'cause the abuse to the English language and the blurring of definitions. You
Yeah.
know, communism no longer means what it used to be in the modern vernacular. I mean, it still means in the dictionary what it meant, but in the vernacular it doesn't. And socialism has been lumped together. And you know, I view Mamdani not as a communist. I view him, and I don't view him as a Venezuelan Chavista or even
Yeah.
a Lulu Brazil type socialism. What Mamdani is doing is very much like Western European socialism.
Yeah.
And you've traveled to Europe and whatnot, and
Yeah.
you can go to Scandinavia and where you have this incredibly massive middle class and
Yeah.
and people own their own homes and they don't have healthcare debt, they don't have student debt,
Yeah.
and yes, maybe their taxes are a little bit higher than
Yeah.
what we pay, but what they get back is immense. And you maybe are bringing home less money, but you're not spending thousands of dollars
Yeah.
on healthcare. So I would take Mamdani as a Democrat socialist, which in my old guy terminology is you're a Western European socialist. I could live there.
But the thing is, and
I
I
could do
think
that. I could do that.
no, I appreciate you saying that. It's the fact that we can get the perfect candidates. We wouldn't have to
Yeah.
I say, he's a little, but if the people that have the if the people we know just say the right things, we wouldn't have to go looking somewhere else and we'll have to deal with the other stuff that we don't necessarily fully agree. All you have to do is just state the obvious, and
Yeah.
then everything else is good. You're Obama, state the obvious, everything. If you're Cory Booker, we like everything else, kinda. But just say the right thing. Don't go on ABC saying we need to keep sending
Well,
money.
the yeah, and my last just comment on this is I think you're absolutely right. And right now, what the Dems are trying to do when they're not trying to take a stand is if you try to please everybody, you're going to please nobody.
Mm,
Is but because that's what they're doing is they're
yeah,
trying to hedge their bet, and if I
exactly.
don't, and you're just going to piss off everyone. Because when you strip it all away, I
Yeah,
just can. The corruption and the lying is what drives is just keeps me up at night. I mean, and of all the issues, it just comes down to the corruption and the bold face lying to the
yeah,
American people. And so, if a politician is willing to be obvious, or as you say, state the obvious, or if he's
yeah,
willing to be honest or state the obvious, or one
yeah,
in English here, is I can disagree with their position. I know where
yeah,
it stands, and that's why I talk about the thing about I appreciate about George W. Bush is he was very black and white. He had a moral compass. I didn't agree with it a lot, but I could get up in the
yeah,
morning, read something in the news, and I would know with exactly how what Bush's position was because he had
yeah,
a moral compass, and he told us what he believed and what he
yeah.
thought. Whether you agreed with him or not, you knew where you
And
stood.
I think that's
We
one
don't
of the
now.
benefits of not being a great speaker. Obama's a great speaker, so he
Yeah.
thinks he can. He thinks he can. Yeah, whatever this hand motion is, he thinks he can. George Bush was not a great speaker, so he knew I had to make it clear where I stand. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
he could.
bullshit. I'm just gonna. This is
He
it
could.
because I'm
He
not
couldn't thread the
capable of
needle.
doing it. So I
Yeah.
agree with. I agree. So that's what he is, and I cannot. If we end up losing in 2028, I'm glad this is on this is recorded because the fact that they refuse to look at the autopsy that lets me know they're willing to lose again.
Mm.
The only way I they
We
want
can't
the
lose.
voter to be scared of losing. Meanwhile, they're having a blast.
Yeah. Been living large. I know. I'm going to leave it on one little funny note about my Obama, my obsession with his tell, and when he doesn't want to answer.
Yeah.
A friend of mine described it to me one time, and it's someone who's a total Obama fanboy. And he goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he just starts having a vowel movement. A
Exactly.
E O
Yeah, and
E.
you don't even have to dislike the guy. You can love him, but it's so obvious every time. Yeah,
He just
and
he
it's
just needs
so
to shut
obvious
down at that
because you
point.
know it's so obvious, especially when you know this is a guy that can speak.
Oh
This is a
yeah,
guy
yeah,
that
yeah,
can really speak.
yeah,
So now all of a sudden you're like, uh,
yeah. As soon
yeah,
as he
no,
starts holding those vowels, move on, move
yeah,
on, move on.
cut the mic, cut the mic.
All right. So before I take off my conspiracy theory hat, let's talk about Erica Kirk and Tyler Robinson. What do you know?
So it just came out that Tyler Robinson was in custody, and the Discord confession was after he was in custody, which makes no sense. Last time I checked, once you're in police custody, they don't let you use Discord. He was in custody at 6:25 p.m. on the 11th, but the Discord message was the next day. So someone's gonna have to explain to me: did he have access to Discord, or
No.
is this entire case about to fall? If he goes to jail,
Mhm.
if he goes to jail, I've already lost most of my faith in the legal system. So let me just put that out there. But that 10% of faith that I have, it's gone.
Yeah.
Because now I know you can send me to jail for anything. If someone wanted to set me up, they could. And
Mhm.
this is what it would prove. So 6:25 p.m. on the 11th, and then the Discord messages where he's confessing, or the next day. Yeah, okay, sure.
So, I'm going to make full disclosure, everyone, those of you listening, not seeing the video, I am wearing my conspiracy hat. So, wearing my conspiracy hat, I'm going to make a prediction here that either one of the two, Tyler Robinson or uh, Cole Thomas Allen, one of the two are going to be acquitted.
I say two.
I wouldn't be surprised, but
Yeah.
I will predict one of the
Who's
two.
more likely for you?
Originally, I said Cole Thomas Allen because of the question whether he actually made a shot or not, and I
Yeah,
still think they're
yeah,
saying he did, but there's some question about that.
yeah.
Today, though, I'm going to go with Tyler Robinson. Too much of it's spinning. unraveling for him. I saw a poll that the majority of Americans believe that these assassination attempts were staged. And
Yeah.
polls are polls, but remember, this is where you're getting your
Jury.
jury. Now, Pennsylvania, I have, it's not the South. I'm going to say it's going to be a purple jury.
Yeah.
Um, but I think there's gonna be some people in the back of their minds, even if they don't believe it's conspiracy theory. There are
Yeah.
so many that have already heard it.
Yeah.
Other reason I say Cole Thomas Allen is, and I still believe this, but it was based on the assumption at the time that he didn't take a shot. As a DC jury right now, even if he had shot, I mean, getting a conviction uh, in anything that's perceived as pro-Trump in DC is getting harder by the second.
Yeah. I agree.
This is a tough home court.
Yeah, they're gonna have to ship in a jury pool from Mississippi if they want that to go in, but it's just not gonna happen. And then the Tyler Robinson thing, I can't wait. I have never been more excited and just anxious for a trial to start. I feel like I'm on trial. I cannot stress this enough. If they pull this off, if they're able to, let's think about this. If they're able to convict someone and they can't even prove no footage that they actually got on the roof, the timestamps don't make any sense. The bullet caliber doesn't make any sense. I'm done. It's like whoever wants me locked up, it's possible. You can do it. Let's get it over with right now because I've seen it. I've only seen these type of things in the movie, and unfortunately, I've been watching a lot of Candace. That's where she has me. That's where she has me on this case. After this case, I'm out. I hope she knows that. But yeah, I just don't like what I'm seeing. It's very kind of spooky.
Yep. All right. Well, it's gonna be interesting. On that, I'm gonna take my conspiracy hat off on them for the moment, but I may have to put it on for our last topic. But our next to last topic is I don't know if you've seen it or not, but at the Trump Durrell golf course down in Florida, there is a now larger than life gold statue of dear leader. What are your thoughts? Oh, and not only do we have the gold statue, but we had clergy, religious leaders, both Christian and Jewish, praying and dedicating this gold statue
To who?
To Donald Trump. Trump golden statue.
Oh,
have you not seen this?
No, I have. I didn't know they prayed over it.
Yes. No, over the weekend, a group. I'll send you owe me a link. I'll shoot you this link.
Yeah,
They had a number of clergy. I'd say about a dozen or maybe more, and they had a little ceremony dedicating it, and they prayed and whatnot to this giant gold statue of Donald Trump. So,
oh my God,
where do we start?
I'm not the most religious person out there. I do know there's something in the Bible about this gold statues and it not being good. Yeah. So yeah, this is very weird. And the fact that it's gold, and then you fast forward to the drive-by press conference he had with the press pool, where they asked him, how much does the financial situation of Americans affect your decision making in Iran? And he said,
his response was,
yeah, you have his response verbatim.
His response was, I don't think about him at all. I don't
exactly. So you go from that to, by the way,
anybody.
have you seen my gold statue?
Yeah.
Like these are things that this is what makes the next generation just like it just feels hopeless because the people in power are so out of touch. Now is not the time to be having gold anything. Gas is whatever it is. I don't drive, so I don't whatever. But I know it's not good.
But you live on Uber. Have your Uber rates gone up?
How much has.
Your Uber rates gone up?
So usually it used to be like 25. It hasn't been less than 33 lately. Like it's just 33, which is yeah, you bringing that up just makes me want to,
I don't.
switch jobs or something.
We
So
don't want to have to give you the chest fade here.
yeah,
Sorry
but
about that.
it's the fact that you're paying that at the pump, and then now you see this guy, a gold statue, and then you see these religious leaders. I'm assuming, like, you now I'm questioning whatever religion you're part of. Like, I'm questioning it now. Like, why is this normal?
No, it's not. And like you, I've criticized JD Vance for lecturing the Pope, so I'm not going to lecture anyone on religion. So I'm going to tell
Yeah.
you what I know about golden statues from the movie The Ten Commandments.
Mm.
And people, they've escaped Egypt. The Israelis, the Jews have, they're not Israel. I can't remember. Never mind. Jews have escaped Egypt, but people are getting antsy.
Yeah.
And Moses doesn't
Ah.
know. So Moses goes up to the mountain and to pray. And while he's up there praying, the people getting antsy. People like me, we get
Yeah.
impatient, gets antsy, and they get all their gold jewelry and they melt it down and they mold it into a golden calf.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, you would sacrifice sheep and calves
Yeah.
to the Lord. And so they made this. So the Jews, God has forsaken us. Moses is gone,
Yeah.
and we need to create this idol. And they melted all down, and they created this golden calf that they were praying to. And then Moses comes down with the Ten Commandments because God has spoken to him, and we all know where we ended up today.
Yeah.
So I see that, and I mean, even before I saw the clergy there praying, this is just wrong. First of all,
Yeah.
this is North Korea. I was in Libya. I worked in Libya for a wee bit back when Omar Gaddafi was still in charge. I've worked in some strange places, and there was no billboard. No, there was billboards, but there was no advertising in Libya. You could drive from the airport to all throughout to downtown, all over the place. No commercial billboards, no one advertising Coke, no cellular advertisements. All the billboards were Gaddafi. All the signs
Wow.
were Gaddafi. So there was billboards, lots of billboards. It had Gaddafi. And that's where we're at now with the Trump banners all over DC in front of,
Yeah.
the government buildings, naming the Institute of Peace, the Trump Arch, all this crap we're doing. This is all very South Korea. That's one issue. You get to the religious point, everything about this screams wrong,
Yeah.
wrong. Worshiping these people. I mean, the memes he puts where that whole Jesus thing, putting his hand on the light and all that. The imagery is exactly what we saw in the Ten Commandments. Is what the Bible tells us not to do,
Yeah.
not to worship any god but the Lord God. And
Yeah.
people are worshiping Trump.
Yeah.
And
And
okay, and them worshiping Trump's not going to affect me in the slightest bit. But boy, you really got to wonder about the overall decay of our country.
yeah, I've. It's one thing to like see his base doing that,
Mhm.
but religious leaders that are supposed to be, I guess, morally there, I just doesn't look like the fact. I didn't know they prayed over it, so that image alone just kind of is like burned into my mind
And,
in not the good way.
yeah, and one of the pastors in an interview afterwards says, "Oh, I just want to be very clear that this is not a
Yeah,
golden calf." I mean, the
sure,
fact you said to say that means
exactly.
you know where you're
You know
at.
it is. You know what it
Yeah,
looks like. Yeah, and that's
yeah,
the thing. They think people are stupid. Well, the
yeah,
base they're trying to appeal to might be, but that's not the only. Those not the only people seeing it.
yeah, yeah. And
It's so
the
weird.
the Franklin Grahams, these other religious leaders who have compromised everything
Everything, everything.
to be at
That
the feet
MAGA
of Trump.
pastor, they got caught with. Anyway,
Oh,
whatever.
he's already out of prison. He's here. He's already out
What?
of prison. Yeah, he got out last week. Next week, he's been out in the last 2 weeks. He finally got out. He only did 9 months or something.
Oh my god. Well,
Yeah,
that can. I'm guessing that's a
freedom.
prerequisite to be part of MAGA.
Yeah, the man. It's the Trump law of justice. Justice for
Yeah.
me and my friends. The law for you.
Exactly. You get the Tyler Robinson treatment. We don't need proof for anything. You're gonna go to jail. But us
Yeah.
get caught red-handed. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So we're going to wrap it up on one of my favorite topics. Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG, our former
Mm,
congresswoman from Northwest Georgia, tweeted out that her and her fiance, Brian, former Newsmax White House correspondent who has resigned recently, have started their new chapter of their life in Costa Rica. Now we don't know if that means they're getting married and moving there or just moving there, but it's a new thing for MG3. So America First is now in Costa Rica. Hey, Pienza, what do you think?
um, I don't know why, but I've been feeling kind of sorry for her. I don't know if it's the fact that she's a mom or getting the death threats, and I hope it's not related. But the fact that she's moving basically out, international, just leaving basically. I think you think there's a chance she fears for her life. Ever
Oh, I
that
mean,
cross?
I fear for my life based on some of the things we do on this podcast. So yeah, I think she
Yeah.
fears for her life, and I think that now she's going to be back in, assuming she would have stayed in Georgia. She'd have to be walking down the streets in her local hometown and have to put up with people wanting to talk to her. So I can say, someone who lived and worked outside the U.S. for more than 2 decades. There's something very freeing about being outside your country, where you have no history and no one knows
Yeah.
who you are. That can be very liberating. But uh, can I give my last? And we've not done, and I have. It's my fault. This has been a great dialogue today, but we've totally
Yeah.
failed the 2 minute
Yeah,
two
way
minute
off on
challenge.
that one.
But it's been good
We're
stuff.
gonna need an official referee at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring in a moderator. When
Yeah,
we win the lottery, we'll get a producer who can be
yeah,
our
we'll do
moderator. So I'm gonna put my
that.
conspiracy theory hat back on. And now I've never lived in Costa Rica, and I think good for Marjorie for doing this. And I tease her about being America first. Is I love my country, but I've lived outside my country for more than 2 decades, and in fact I've lived outside this country and lived in dictatorships and lived in Saudi Arabia where I couldn't practice my religion. Is that we hold dear our values that are under threat here in America, but
Yeah.
lived in Panama for 5 years, just the next country down. Had to go do a lot of work in the nature of my job. I had to be in San Jose, Costa Rica all the time for different things, and uh, a lot of expats in Costa Rica, a lot of expats in Panama. Two American expats, two totally different demographics. In Panama, it's largely former U.S. military. They were there, got Panamanian wives. In 2001, Clinton did or 2000, Clinton did the TRICARE for life, so they could all retire. So the retired military goes down to Panama. The Americans
Mm,
in Panama are much more conservative than expats. Tend to be a bit more liberal. Americans living abroad tend to be more liberal. Panama, because it's a military crowd, tend to be much more conservative.
mm.
You go up to San Jose in Costa Rica, and the locals complain, "Oh, this is like California." It's all West Coast, largely Californians who have moved to Costa Rica, and these are your typical Californians. I say as a native Californian, these are my
Uh-huh.
people. These are my people. They're a anyone who is going to leave the country is going to be very adventuresome in all aspects of your life, or many aspects of your life. So, uh, I from San Francisco. I was born before the Summer of Love. I don't remember the Summer of Love, but I was alive. I was born. My parents were hippies, and I was around. There's a lot of free love going on in San Jose, Costa Rica. I've never partaken, but from firsthand observation, direct observation,
Oh.
it's a wife swapping, swinging
Oh
kind of
wow.
town. It's very the expat, because you have these communities. The expat in Costa Rica, in San Jose, is very Californian, very liberal, very open socially.
Oh
So
wow.
I think this is all good. I think I think MTG is really finding out who she is. And I think that's a
Ah.
good thing. I'm not criticizing her because, she's realized that Trump's a liar, that she was
Yeah.
sucked in. I think she's dropped the C word, cult.
Yeah.
Not the C word I'm not allowed to say, but cult.
Yeah.
Um, and if her and Brian want to, and the reason I was my conspiracy hat is I do know when she was married before, she had an affair with her personal trainer who was like a tantric sex guru guy. Tantric
Oh
sex is
wow.
this whole thing. Sting, the musician Sting said him and his wife Trudy had 6-hour orgasms doing having tantric sex. So we do know MTG's into tantric sex, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just jealous. I can't have a 6-hour
I did
orgasm.
not even know about this backstory.
Oh yeah, well I got my hat on. I got my hat on.
Oh, okay.
And but I've seen it on the internet, so it must be true. So I think Marjorie is entering a great facet of her life. I think we have not heard the last of Marjorie, and I think when we see her again, I give her a. I'm going to be interested to see what she has to say. I'm not going to say I'll vote for her, but it's fascinating to see someone.
Yeah,
I mean, because
I think
I
she
just
makes.
go
I
ahead,
think
go ahead.
she might evolve, not in the way you're thinking, but I think she's gonna emerge completely different candidate. I think she kept her support.
Yeah,
The
she
MAGA
may have.
crowd, the
Yeah.
MAGA crowd that hates her, or again, it's the Laura Loomers. If you think there are enough Laura Loomers to affect your numbers, that's a you problem. But
Yeah.
I don't I think she emerges. Uh, Everyone that's actively breaking from Trump now is in a better position than they were prior to that. Marjorie is, Tucker is, just Candace is. I That's just my opinion.
Last question. After I've described San Jose, Costa Rica, how soon till you book your ticket?
Absolutely not.
But you're
That
following
is
you're
not.
following my advice for Poland though.
Yeah,
Duly
no,
noted.
no,
Duly
no. Yeah,
noted.
see, I limit my listening to Poland alone. That's it.
All right.
Everything.
All right.
This does not even sound fun. It sounds like a nightmare.
I've just observed. I've never participated. I've never participated. Well, that was again. It's been a long episode. I appreciate everyone sticking with us, but it was some great dialogue. We're gonna work on our 2-minute challenge here. As always, hey, we really appreciate your support. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and please do follow us on social media. We do the big podcast every week, but boy, we put out a lot of clips,
Yes, we
almost
do.
daily. Sometimes both of us, sometimes one of us. And again, if you have any feedback, we'd love to hear from you. So, any last words, tall guy?
If you're interested in being a moderator, we are hiring. So
Yes.
just jump in our comments on TikTok, YouTube. We will hire you on the spot. That's probably not a good time being hired on the spot, but still.
But a moderator slash producer, so you can organize this.
Yeah.
Help us. Help us. We'd love for you to
Yeah.
join us. All right. Tall guy. Thank you. Everyone at home, appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Ciao.
See ya. I'll fix my background. Oh, hang on. Let me end it correctly. Fuck.